The hail that triggered Victoria's biggest insurance event. A man charged with a little boy's manslaughter. Iraqis defy insurgents to go to the polls. And Madam Director, a female first at the Oscars. Good evening. 2 days on, parts of Melbourne are still picking up the pieces after Saturday's violent hailstorm. So far, insurers have received 40,000 claims and estimate the damage bill will top $200 million. Overnight, it was Shepparton's turn to feel nature's fury as a freak storm caused flash floods and widespread power blackouts. The wild weather is now passing, and for many, it's not before time. Susie Rains reports.
These are the latest online images to surface from Saturday's freak storm. Hailstones 10 centimetres in diameter can be seen pummelling the suburb of Ferntree Gully in Melbourne's east. The deluge lasted less than 1 hour, but the scale of destruction in its wake is only now becoming clear.
It's terrible. All the roofs are just all caved in, all the ceilings are caved in. We've got some of the hailstones in the freezer the size of golf balls and even cricket balls.
SES crews from South Australia and New South Wales have been called in to help respond to more than 6,000 calls for help.
A series of houses that have got roofs that look more like cheese graters. So now we're dealing with a lot of water damage, ceilings that are inundated with water and are in threat of collapse.
This is all that remains of Pat and Tom Newman's bedroom ceiling.
The noise was frightening. It was like a wave. You could hear it coming a long time before it actually hit here.
They count themselves lucky, though. Many of their elderly neighbours at this retirement village have been forced to evacuate.
It's been quite devastating. We've had everything from broken tiles to broken windows to flooding through the units themselves.
Also counting the cost today are business operators. Like many small car dealers, the operator of this outlet is facing financial ruin because he'd elected not to take out expensive insurance against hail damage.
Myself and all the boys along the strip will rally together. Whether we sell the cars cheap, don't know, but that's probably the way we'll have to go.
And significant city buildings like the Supreme Court weren't spared either. As predicted, the wild weather didn't end there. The regional town of Shepparton in the state's north was struck hard yesterday.
We went through Cyclone Larry up in Queensland and it was far worse than the Cyclone Larry. It was a lot more scary.
Insurance companies have received more than 40,000 claims. They're predicting a damage bill of more than $200 million.
It's a very large event, one of the largest events that we've had, but it's also spread across Victoria. It's both regional and metropolitan.
There was a silver lining to these clouds, though. Melbourne's water catchments received 2 billion litres in 48 hours. Susie Rains, ABC News, Melbourne.
And for people who need help with their insurance claims, the Insurance Council has set up this hotline. The number is 1300 728 228. That's 1300 728 228. Queensland's floodwaters are now streaming south towards New South Wales. Along the way, they've inundated more homes and properties, and there have been significant stock losses. The towns of Connolly and Thargomindah were today's front lines, and as Paul Lockyer reports tonight, all eyes are on Dirranbandi, south of St George.
The people of Dirranbandi certainly know what's coming, a wall of water heading south from St George. They've worked day and night to try to defend their town.
We've had dozers, 3 excavators, 2 days. They've worked for 3 to 4 days, just going right around building all the levees up.
Dirranbandi is in the middle of a flat floodplain, and the smallest rise is of concern. And there's more water streaming towards the town than they've ever seen before. After all the enormous efforts to fortify these flood barriers, there's little left for the town to do now than wait for the huge flow of water to arrive.
It's an unknown, we have to wait and see. It's a best guess, but we are prepared and we'll just manage it as it comes.
Dirranbandi is just one of a growing number of communities now confronting the flood crisis. The town of Burton, west of St George, has been engulfed for 5 days. And downstream of Burton, where a woman was winched from the roof of her flooded homestead, station hand Johnny Foster is marooned, but he's prepared to sit it out on the top floor of the house. We managed to get through to him by mobile phone.
I got plenty of meat and plenty of
Some people will be isolated for weeks, if not months, after this flood. And so will the stock and the wildlife, found huddling together on any stretch of high ground. Paul Lockyer, ABC News.